Hello and welcome back to Suspended Animation on Juneteenth and also Father's Day because it all falls on the same day here for some reason. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first. By the way, I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and let me take care of some business first and we'll get down to it. And of course, this is the Sunday edition of Saturday Morning Blast Off as well. See, that's what happens when you fuck up the entire intro and start improvising. And yeah, anyway. If you like what you see here, warts and all, hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my fast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button. Also, if you can, hit that like button, the share button. Hey, Carl. And if you're, interested in rolling the dice and taking a gamble, you can hit that bell down below and see if YouTube will actually notify you when I come on live. But if you don't want to take that gamble, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have. I change it out every week. Also have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. All right. So what do I have on store for today? Um, Not a lot of news, but a lot of big news. It's kind of weird. So the big news, of course, is that HBO is working on a Game of Thrones sequel with Jon Snow. Okay. Um, I don't know if anyone wanted to see this after everything that happened. Jon Snow's an okay character, but for the most part, I don't know. I mean, if anything, you really would have wanted to follow Arya Stark. If anything, Jon Snow's kind of boring. I mean, after having watched, those all those seasons, yeah, Jon Snow is really fucking boring, I have to admit. So, CBM, so I'll be honest, I didn't even watch the original Game of Thrones. Yeah, I mean, I came into it late. I watched it and I wasn't in the hype that everyone else was in. Um, it was an okay series, but it just wasn't, the end all be all that everyone was making it out to be. So, yeah. Anyway. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to a Jon Snow sequel. Like I said, Arya Stark, yes, I would. Especially Arya Stark going out afterwards, and supposedly she's supposed to pay for all those, the names that she's taken, whatever, and see how she comes about and does her stuff. But anyway, so yeah, we've got that going on. Like, all right, great, that's fantastic. Speaking of other news that stuff that we really didn't need, Lady Gaga is in talks to join Todd Phillips' version of the Joker in Joker 2 as a different version of Harley Quinn. Um, mm, Again, I did not like this version of Joker. I'm fairly sure I'm not going to like this version of Harley Quinn either. And I'm sorry to say, but after Lady Gaga's turn as an actress in the Versace movie or whatever it was that she did, oh god, that was a god awful performance. And no, don't need any more of that. Carl says didn't like Snow enough to watch a spinoff. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm not really interested in my guess is maybe they're going to do a musical of this. I don't know, which I wouldn't put it past, Todd Phillips to do something like that. Uh yeah. I have high hopes that the new Warner Brothers dude who came in who is known as a slash and burn kind of person. He's a lawyer is what he is. I can't remember his name, starts with an L. David something or other, David L. I'm fairly sure he's going to slash and burn this project down to the ground, along with everything else that he's been slashing and burning, both at HBO Max, CW, because he's selling off the CW. With Ezra Miller's all his legal stuff that's going on right now, and all the shit that he's been doing. He's not coming back as the Flash. Who we just found out is that about that as well. And they really don't even want to release the current Flash movie that he has in the can at the moment. So, yeah, this whole DC stuff is in jeopardy at the moment. Yeah. CBM says I would rather a Harley Quinn animated series. Yeah, I know. I know. Season 3 is coming out. So we just don't know when, but we know that season 3 is coming out. Um yeah, it's they're working on it. They really are working on it. So it is season 3, right? Yeah, yeah, that's right. They just haven't announced when it's going to be released because the animators, are being shackled over in Asia. I mean, sorry, they're working on it over in other parts of the world as we speak. It's one of those dirty little secrets, that not so secret thing in animation is they use overseas labor to do animation, and yeah, it's pretty bad. Anyway, the other actually good news here, it depends on how you look at it. It's one of my favorite characters anyway. So Marvel is developing a Wonder Man series. Unfortunately, with Daniel Cretton, who did Shang-Chi, and Andrew Guest, who wrote for Community and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, both comedies. They're developing a series for Wonder Man, most likely at Disney Plus. I don't like that they're bending this towards comedy. If you read the Wonder Man series in the 90s, it was not a comedy, and Wonder Man is more of a tragic figure. And I don't have high hopes for this one. Yeah, I hmm. I am very mixed about it. At one point, I want Wonder Man to come to, the big screen. At one point, we almost had him as Nathan Fillion. Uh, there was little things that were shot in God, I can't remember which show it was or which movie it was, but they had Nathan Fillion on movie posters um in a movie theater as Simon West, Wonder Man. And he was starring in movies. And it was just kind of like a little Easter egg, but they cut that from the movie, and I can't remember which movie that was from now. But anyway, I think it was Taika Waititi, Thor, maybe, or maybe it was something else. I don't remember. But anyway, yeah, I'm not looking forward to this being a comedy. Um, yeah. So, Carl, go take a look at the latest episode. It's written by Andrew Stanton from Pixar, which is better. Derpy Gaming says just saw the movie Lightyear. Uh, yeah, I'm not going to go and see it until it comes out. It's going to come out on Disney Plus anyway, and that's the reason why. So what's happening now is that people are understanding that Disney Plus is going to release this stuff. Their animated movies fairly quickly after they come out of the theater. So what's another month or two to wait, or even 3 months to wait until it comes out on Disney Plus, which you're already paying for anyway, and then you can just watch it at home, and your kids can watch it over and over and over again because that's what kids do. So I'm fairly sure that's what's eating into their bottom line, into their. It did not do very well in the box. Well, it came in second in the box office. Jurassic Park 55, I think, beat it out this weekend. Derpy Gaming says not Pixar's best, but I enjoyed it very much. Okay, yeah. Oh, what else do we have? Speaking of Disney, Guy Ritchie is going to direct the live action version of Disney's Hercules. So remember the old animated Hercules movies that was out? Guy Ritchie actually directed the live action version of Aladdin, which did fairly well. So now he's going to direct the live action version of Hercules. So CBM says, regardless of anyone's thoughts on Lightyear, it's a nice that Pixar film finally gets to be in theater. Yeah, exactly. Well, they've had a couple that have come out already. So, but yeah, back to Hercules. Okay, live action Hercules. Are they going to do the musical number? I haven't seen the live action Aladdin, so I don't know what that's like. I like Guy Ritchie movies for the most part. Wrath of Man was a mess. Uh, but that's just because they decided to do a lot of flashback stuff, and it just became a fucking nightmare with all the flashback, flash forward. Yeah, it didn't work. The Wrath of Man did not work. But other movies did of his. So again, I haven't seen the live action Aladdin. Probably won't because honestly, why we have an animated version of it, and I don't know if I really want to see a live action Hercules. Tell you the truth, either. I thought Disney was done doing live action remakes of their animated films, but I guess not. I guess they're gonna give Guy Ritchie another shot at doing this one as an animated movie. Um, no, I don't think the Russo brothers are attached to that project to CBM. I can tell you here in a minute. Let me take a quick peek at what I've got going on here. And oh, actually, you're right. So Joe and Anthony Russo are set to produce the film. That's right. So that could be the reason why. Probably because the Russo brothers are producing it. That's the reason why it's going out to Disney. Yeah, you are correct. So there was a funny little rumor that came about that on the on the interwebs, as Bruce Campbell would say. Bruce Campbell was rumored to become the live action Hades, and I was kind of thinking about it, and I'm like, that's not a bad idea. Live action Hades, Bruce Campbell. I could see that happening, and he actually liked the idea as well. He said, "Yeah, make it happen." He goes, "It's not true, but if the powers that be want it to be, let it happen." And that would actually be kind of cool to have Bruce Campbell as Hades, live action Hades. Do they really though, Carl? I don't know if did the live action Aladdin make money. I don't know how much money it made, but maybe it did. I don't know. But so yeah, so yeah. And again, speaking of stuff that we really didn't ask for, but we're getting anyway, Tom Hardy and Kelly Marcel are, well, they've started the screenplay for Venom 3. If you saw Venom 2, ugh, I'm sorry, one. Yeah, I paid the $5 on Amazon Prime to watch it, and I was like, well, why did I spend $5 on this? So yeah, I'm not looking forward to Venom 3 either. Um, Yeah, again, like I said, there is a lot of stuff to choose from in the literary comic world that you can pick from, and you could make into a decent show, movie, whatever, as long as you are willing to take that chance and have someone that actually likes the material make it and not make their own whatever they want to make by so usually what ends up happening in Hollywood is if someone has an idea, takes one of these ideas and says, "Hey, let's produce this," and they're like, "Great, the studio's great, let's do this." They bring someone else in who has their own idea that never got made or never got greenlit. So they try and supplant their idea into the project that has already been greenlit, and it never works out because the story doesn't match whatever that story is. Yeah, and that's what ends up happening, and you get crap. Occasionally, you get something good, like, the, 12 Monkeys, TV series, which was supposed to be a different series called Splinter, and, somehow or another, I think it was Warner Brothers got the rights to 12 or they have the rights to 12 Monkeys. They wanted to do a 12 Monkeys series. Of course, they didn't involve Terry Gilliam in it at all. They brought in the guy who did the Connor Chronicles, who had this screenplay for Splinter, and they said, "Oh, great, we're going to blend your screenplay Splinter into the 12 Monkeys, and this is what we're going to get." And they actually got a good show out of it, but yeah. Carl M says, "I like two because Woody Harrelson got to try something." Woody Harrelson was horrible in that, Carl. That was just weed money to him. I'll say that right now. Venom 2 is just weed money to Woody Harrelson. That was the shittiest fucking movie. Um, Plus the, one who played, Shriek, I can't remember her name now. She was also the one who played, Calypso in, Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and, I said it at the time. I actually did a whole review on this, movie. She needs to stop taking roles where they make her up like Calypso, because then that's the only way I know her now. I'm like, oh, it's Calypso from Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know her acting other than that, because she keeps playing the same character over and over and over again. So she needs to break out and do a different character. Yeah. um, so Neil Patrick Harris has joined Doctor Who, which we'll see in 2023, and he's going to be an unnamed villain who I think is like the Tinkerer or the Woods Craftsman, or I don't know what he's going to be. Basically, he has like a little set of evil glasses and some coiffed hair, and he's wearing an apron, like a leather apron with some tools in it. So he looks, with his suit and tie and all that stuff. So he is going to be a very, I don't know, probably an American. I don't know if he's going to do a British accent or not, but probably going to be an American villain, as he should be. He's been playing a lot of villains lately. He honestly has been. Um, so I just recently saw also the Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, Nicolas Cage, the Nicolas Cage movie, which was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad either. But Neil Patrick Harris is in it as his agent. And I was like, man, dude, you're doing almost as many movies as Nick Cage has done this year. So Carl says, thank God for a second. I thought you were going to say he was going to be the doctor. He might be. Who knows? Well, maybe he might be the one that is responsible for the doctor's transformations. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think they're going to make an American at Doctor Who. That's not going to happen. So, Justin Lin, who recently just left the Fast and the Furious franchise, he was supposed to direct Fast X or Fast 10 or whatever you want to call it. He has signed on to direct One Punch Man for Sony instead. So he's left Fast X and he's going over to direct One Punch Man for Sony. This is the live action version of One Punch Man. I've never seen the animated series, tell you the truth. I think I tried watching it once a long time ago, but it was too late at night and stuff like that, and I just promptly fell asleep, I think, like 2 seconds into it. So, and I never gave it a chance afterwards. So, I know there's a lot of people that love that, show. I haven't watched it. I can't make an opinion about it one way or another. So, but there you go. Justin Lin is going to be directing One Punch Man, the live action version of that. Also kind of weird. Um, Speaking of stuff, so Gran Turismo, the video game. There's a movie that's gonna be made of that. Don't ask me how. And Neil Blomkamp is going to be directing that. Don't know why. Don't know what the plot's gonna be. How you direct it around a video game. It's gonna be another one of it's gonna be another in the long string of failures of video game movies. Let's just put it that way. Why? Because you really can't make a good movie based off of a video game. It just can't do it. Yeah. Just kind of sad, really. I only got 2 more things to go through here. So, like I said, kind of a short thing here. Um, all 3 Avatar: The Last Airbender movies are gonna be set over at Paramount/Nickelodeon because, Paramount owns Nickelodeon. There we go. And, the first movie is supposed to be directed by, Lauren Montgomery, and I have no idea who Lauren Montgomery is, um, but she is going to be directing the first movie, so, there you have it. Uh, yeah. So we'll see what happens from there. I don't have high hopes for this one either. It's Paramount One. It's also Nickelodeon. So yeah, doing a live action movie based off of a really good animated series. CBM says I never watched One Punch Man, but enough terrible anime live action adaptations have been made by the West for me not to be excited. Yes, yes, I know the feeling. I really do. I really do know the feeling. And the last thing I've got for you guys is on September 14th, The Handmaid's Tale season 5 returns to Hulu. So those of you who have been watching The Handmaid's Tale, there you go. Season 5 is going to be shooting back up here again on September 14th. Um, yeah, I haven't watched it again. There's just too much shit out there for me to watch, honestly, and I can't get to everything, and I'm selective about what I watch. So there you go. I also have a day job, so I work 40 hours a week, and that's how I get paid. Carl says One Punch Man will be difficult. Yeah, I'm fairly sure it's going to be difficult to adapt. Sorry, I'm having issues with my glass here. My the black lettering here has been rubbing off lately from the dishwasher, so I'm realizing that's been getting on my hands as I've been lifting up the glass. So really, that's all I got for you guys. Like I said, it was a slow news week, but there was a lot of big news, if you will. Not entirely huge news, but still big enough news. Um, but yeah, um, what I've been watching. I just finished Iron Chef is on Netflix now. The new series of Iron Chef with Alton Brown, and so that was been kind of a weird one. Uh, so Mark Dacascos, basically the martial artist, the dude from Brotherhood of the Wolf, and also the TV series The Crow. He's been playing the chairman now for the last I want to say like 8 years, somewhere around there. And they brought him back as the chairman again on this, and there's a lot of pomp and circumstance, but I love watching what they're doing with the cooking. So it's interesting to watch that. Carl says the actress in The Handmaid's Tale. Yeah, is she's in the Shining Girls series. I've heard. Yeah, I think I actually talked about that briefly a couple months back, but I haven't watched it. Again, like I said, just too much shit to watch, and just not enough hours in the day, evening, all that kind of stuff. I need to sleep in there sometimes too. So that's why I'm selective about what I'm watching. But what else am I watching? That's pretty much really about it. Um, yeah, waiting for Umbrella Academy to pop up next week. What is popping up next week? As a matter of fact, we've got a couple of things that are popping up next week. And again, if you go over to suspendedfanimation.com, see how that plug works there. You can see what is going to be coming up in the future here. I actually have it on the schedule. If you go down the bottom of the schedule, it says future stuff. So, Motherland Fort Salem season 3, which is the final season, by the way, is June 21st. Umbrella Academy is June 22nd. And I need to have a calendar here. So, yeah, so Tuesday and Wednesday, we have all of that coming up here. So Umbrella Academy season 3, they're going to drop everything all at once, obviously. Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe is at Paramount Plus. Westworld season 4 starts on June 26th, so that's coming up this week as well. I'm going to be covering that definitely. And then, of course, Stranger Things season 4 starts July 1st, part 2. So part 2 of that is going to be coming out on July 1st. There's a lot of stuff coming out, and then July is no different. There's a lot of stuff coming out in July and August, and yeah, blah blah blah. It's just a lot of stuff. CBM says on Wednesday that's going to be a nightmare for people. Yeah, I know. I'm waiting for the internet to crash. Quite honestly, CBM on Wednesday. We have the season finale of Obi-Wan. We have Miss Marvel. And then we have season 3 of the Umbrella Academy, all happening on Wednesday, all dropping on Wednesday. And I don't know if the internet's going to be able to handle it. I don't know if the apps are going to be able to handle it, really. I have a feeling that either Netflix is going to go down or Disney Plus is going to go down. One of the two. Technical request. Could you please tweet before the show? What kind of mic do I use? So this, honestly, this is a Blue Yeti Pro, is what this is. It's fairly simple. I can just tell you right now, Carl. So it's a Blue Yeti Pro, is what that is. They run about, I don't know, anywhere from 250, $300, somewhere around there. But yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty good mic, actually. I've gone through a couple different mics, and this has been the best one. Of course, you put money into it, of course, you're gonna get a good mic. It has a good sound to it and everything, and, I usually put the pop filter in front here because I spit a lot kinda thing, so I really don't spit a lot, it's just the way I talk. I have a lot of pops, so I try and keep the pops down to a minimum. That sounds a lot worse in my ears because I'm getting direct feed than what you guys are gonna hear once it goes through the filter. Just so you know, though, Carl, if you are gonna do, anything like this, get something like this, you're also gonna need a, preamp as well. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to power it 'cause, your computer will not power this thing at all. Even though it's supposed to be USB driven and all that stuff, that's complete bullshit, not gonna work. I have a USB dual preamp that I have, attached to, and then that goes to my computer. So it's powered. It's a powered preamp. Otherwise, you won't get any of that at all. Yeah. It's always fun watching people trying to set new stuff up and, you know. I had a buddy of mine that was trying to, he wanted to do the same setup that I have for work. So, for his Zoom meetings and all that stuff. I'm like, really? You want to do that? And they were also, there's been a couple work people that have asked me about my setup here, my mic setup. And so I've sent them all the stuff and I'm like, yeah, you need to put all this stuff together, figure out how to do it. I'm not going to do it for you. And yeah, it's not a lot of stuff. It's really I mean, I have a microphone arm, which you can't see here, but it's just out of frame. If I were to lift this up, you'll see it. I mean, there we go. And you can see my voted sticker on there too. Um, but yeah, it's one of the better mics out there, like I said. And you can tell if I go off to the side here, it just doesn't sound as right as when I come back to the front of it. And then it's very directional so that when my asshole neighbors start doing whatever the fuck they're gonna do out there, um, you're only hearing me for the most part. I mean, unless they start out over in that area, then you'll hear it there. Because behind here as well, you can hear stuff. I have the omnidirectional on right now, but yeah, the omnidirectional still just gets the front. I know it's a lot more technical than a lot of people want, but that's where we've devolved into this one. Yeah, there's also there's a mute button here as well. Um, there's gain feeds in the back here and all that kind of stuff. And so I can turn it down, turn it up, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, this little switch back here is actually like the omnidirectional or directional or, blah, 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 blah. So you can go into different modes on this. That's kind of what I liked about it was you can do different modes. Um, you know, plus it's just for the price, it was good. There are other like even more professional microphones that you're using for recording and stuff like that. Like if you're going to do musical recordings and you're going to do professional musical recordings, like in a studio kind of setting, that'll run you like 500 to $1,000. I mean, it just keeps going up and up from there. This is technically an entry level studio microphone, is really what this is. Um, Carl says, "Can you put in the effort to sound clear for the bosses?" And they still ask, how no, this is for, so it's kind of funny. Was it my late no, my previous job where I was at, we were doing a lot of Zoom calls, and the, person who was in charge, who was always, talking on the Zoom call, we could sometimes barely hear them or really hear them, and their microphones sucked balls is really what it was. And so there are a couple people that worked for them that were doing the setup, and they're like, well, they knew that I did a podcast, and they're like, and they've seen it, and they're like, well, what microphone do you use? And so I told them what it was, and because we're all pissed off that we couldn't hear most of the time of what was being said, because we'd always have to tell the person on the Zoom call, okay, can you repeat that? Your microphone sucks. Turn it down, turn it up, whatever. And so, yeah, that's all it was. I just told them I wasn't setting it up for them. These are, like IT people and whatnot. So, yeah. And honestly, I'm not an IT person. I've built computers before in the past. I couldn't do it now, to tell you the truth. And that I've actually set this up the way I have and know I honestly don't know if I could set this back up again unless I spend a couple hours on it. But I got it working, and it sounds good. I've done the video replays on this, and I know it sounds rich. It sounds full. You hear my voice is what you're supposed to be hearing, and not a lot of other shit that's around me. But you still occasionally, like, that's why I turn off. So my dog actually has a water fountain bowl, which you'll be able to hear if I leave it on. That's why I always turn it off before I do a podcast. That's also why you can hear the dog every now and then when she decides to start playing with her toys and stuff like that. Because she's on the other side of the microphone over there usually, and it picks it up because it's a straightaway directional on that. But yeah. No, I'm not, Carl. I didn't like the first one. The first Avatar movie was trash. It was it was a it was there to basically promote 3D is what it was. And that was just dumb. Uh and it was also lazy writing. I've said this before, to name your main MacGuffin, unobtainium. I mean, come on. That's just lazy writing right there. I want to say that he put that in as a placeholder, and he was going to come up with a better name for it, and then just didn't. And he's like, unobtainium, that's doable. Yeah, CBM, I agree with you. Lack of substance really does sum it up. The fact that no one talks about that film, other than kind of, what not to do in a movie. What is it now? Is it 20 years later, something like that? How long ago was Avatar? Uh, yeah, it's just no one really cares about it. The visuals were awesome. If you go back and look at it now, they're not. They've aged pretty horribly. But that's what happens with CGI, quite honestly. All CGI ages horribly. I mean, you go back and look at the original Jurassic Park. So the original Jurassic Park, I never really liked it either, to tell you the truth. For the CGI, the CGI was actually pretty horrible at the time. And everyone's like, "Oh my god, the CGI is awesome in this," and I'm like, "No, take a look at the side of the brontosaurus. You can actually see the shifting. That's not skin shifting. That's actually the render not working correctly, and it keeps shifting back and forth. It's not muscle movement. It's actually rendering problems that you're having." And they left it in, and I'm like, "All right, sure." It just looked bad, and people are like, "Oh, you're just nitpicking." I'm like, yeah, but if you spend a couple of $1,000,000 on your CGI, I'm gonna nitpick. What were you paying for? Yeah, Carl, I saw the current trailer in the theater, and there was some dude. I think I've said this before in my review for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. There's a dude like 2 rows ahead of me that sounded like he was having a fucking orgasm during it, and everyone in the theater was kind of like laughing and also cringing at him at the same time because he literally was like he was home alone in his underwear or less and enjoying himself while watching that trailer. And everyone else is like, "Yeah, yeah, can you just get to the movie? Because that's what we're here for. We're here for a Marvel movie, not for whatever you're." We also had to suffer through the first, I think, 15 minutes, or we had to suffer through a 15-minute thing of Top Gun 2 with um, the sequence where he is tagging out all the pilots and making them do push-ups or whatnot. Literally, they showed that whole 15-minute sequence, and I turned to my buddy. I'm like, "Did we walk into the wrong movie? Are we watching Top Gun 2 now? What's going on?" Because I paid to see something else. Because honestly, I really didn't give a shit about Top Gun 2. Still don't. So if you liked it, you liked it. I mean, I'm not here to throw cold water on your stuff. If you enjoy something, you enjoy it. That's great. I just don't enjoy that. So yeah. CBM says, I heard that Top Gun was great, but I really don't like Tom Cruise. Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing too. I don't want to give him any kind of money to the Church of Scientology or Tom Cruise, so I'm not going to be seeing that. Avatar is a streamer. Maybe if I have a slow weekend, Carl, and there's nothing else on, and I'm feeling kind of down about myself. Stranger things have happened. I mean, I watched the Orville first 2 episodes of season 3, the Orville New Horizons, and God, I mean, I must have been really depressed to watch those 2 episodes because fuck, those are horrible. Um, yeah, especially that second episode. I mean, that second episode was just a complete and total blatant rape ripoff of the Geordie LaForge episode in Star Trek Next Generation where he turns into a salamander. Uh, yeah, and I'm like, oh, that's great. You guys decided to take another Star Trek Next Generation episode and just kind of steal it for yourselves. And Seth MacFarlane's left out all the humor in this third season together altogether. It just, yeah, I'm not going to go further into it because it's just going to turn into a hate review. And there are other channels for that. Yeah, there are other channels where you can watch that kind of stuff. And they get much, much, much more clicks than I do because that's what they're into. They're into doing that whole, you know, hate watching thing. I could do that and, as well, but then it brings in a different breed of people that I just don't want to have in here. Yeah. I am happy with my audience that I have and, with the amount of clicks that I'm getting, quite honestly. So, because I don't have to deal with the negativity of that other stuff. Anyway, off on a different tangent. What else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Tomorrow I'm going to be off. I'm probably going to be off on Tuesday as well, quite frankly. I don't see anything that's going to be on it is worth my time. I was thinking about doing the Nicolas Cage, the unbearable weight of massive talent, but I really don't want to do that one. It's not really genre, and eh, yeah, I'm not going to do it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Monday and Tuesday off. Wednesday is going to be the double header of the Obi-Wan Kenobi season finale and then Miss Marvel episode 3. Thursday I'll be off. Friday will be The Boys episode 6. Saturday I'll be off, and then Sunday rolls back around again to another episode of the Sunday morning edition of Saturday Morning Blast Off. Oh, and Carl, I'm not talking about just that channel. There are other channels out there as well that just thrive off of negativity, and that's kind of where they get their clicks from and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's a market out there for it. I'm just not that one that does that. So yeah, that's what next week has to have. I'll have the schedule up there hopefully tomorrow, maybe Tuesday. Um, the new schedule, I should say, up. Yeah, it's just there's a lot of stuff happening next week at work that I need to get into, so that's going to be a lot of fun. So, with that said, I'm going to let you guys go for the rest of the day. Thank you to everybody who joined me today in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at it. Take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'll be on live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have the links to all my social media and all links to my pages there as well. Um, Carl says I put in the effort to look at the schedule. Hey, all right. Yeah, I know I was a little bit late on this one. I'm usually late on Sundays, Saturdays, because I'm trying to pull together as much news as possible. So I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel and then also doing the graphics and all that stuff as well. So yeah, I'm trying to do a revamp of the logo at the moment as well. It's taking me a lot longer than I need to. I need to have like fucking 3 weeks off at some point and being able to work on all the stuff that I want to work on. Anyway, you don't want to hear about that. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again on Wednesday. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, I don't know. You may have a good weekend. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again on Wednesday. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, get those vaccine shots, get those boosters as well. They don't work without them. And start wearing those masks again. COVID is peaking again. So start wearing those masks. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again on Wednesday. Have a good rest of your weekend and a good start to the week as well. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.